So I'll start it like this. I am a guy from a place, Charm City, Bit, Marquise the Vandal. Marquise is the name my mama blessed me with. I'm here with an individual that I just met. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, thank you. My name is Rica Wilson, and I am the founder and executive director of Brown Girl Wellness.
I love the sound of all of that. We just shared some poetry. I don't even know you longer than 30 minutes, but I'm grateful to know you in this moment, and I'm looking forward to all of the things to come. What are some things that people can be on the lookout for this summer in this space specifically?
Absolutely. So we're doing a lot this summer. So not only are we having plant-based cooking classes for our young people to feed them really, really well. I'm from South Carolina, so I'm bringing some of my Gullah Geechee ways all the way to Baltimore to make sure the kids are eating well. We are working with writing. You know, I spent a long time as an English and women's studies professor, so writing is very important to me. Most of our children are reading on an eighth grade reading level when they get into college, and we must do something about that. Their critical thinking skills are not what they need to be. So we are helping to combat that issue here this summer. So we'll be doing some intensive writing and career planning and a little bit of everything, environmental justice, reading in the garden, and of course, poetry, okay? Because writing is my love. I love to write. I absolutely love to write.
It's a blessing to be able to write. It's a blessing to be able to show up in community. What was a purpose? What is a why for you?
Wow. My why is I grew up as a poor little girl in South Carolina. And I knew I didn't want that to be my future, right? So I needed to make some very serious decisions very early. I often tell people about my days. First of all, my mother, I totally admire her mother. So she went from being a teen mother to going back to college at 25, and now she has her PhD, right? So mama really inspired me. And we spent days in a 1975 gray Ford. That was our home. So we lived in the car. But even though we lived in the car, we never thought we were poor because mama always told us what we were made of on the inside. So it didn't matter. So people saw me as a poor little brown girl, but mama saw me as so much more. So that is my why, because I want other kids to know that. Someone might just see you as just that kid, that but dollars don't make you, right? So my why is making sure that I'm speaking into their lives and making sure that they know who they are. And money doesn't make you. You make money, right? So that's my why, and that's why I go out into community and do what I do.
I want to be dramatic and drop the mic, but I'm gonna be professional because you just said. So, last thing that is on my mind. What is the greatest advice you received?
I started out when I went to school. I went to school to be an attorney, right? And that summer, I started a program for at-risk youth in my hometown, and I asked them for all the kids that were failing. If they're failing, they're homeless and hungry, give them to me, and they did. That was in 1998. And I stayed with those kids. All of them have graduated from high. That was in 1998, of course. So now they are grown with their own children. And the greatest advice I got, because I was sitting in a teacher's, so after that they said, "Hey, come and teach." And I said, "I'm not a teacher. I didn't go to school to be a teacher. I'm going to be a judge, right? I'm going to be a judge by the time I'm 30. I'm not a teacher." And so what was so pivotal, an older lady who was sitting in the room with me, she could see that I was not okay. And she walked over to me and she said, "Education chooses you. You don't choose education. You've been chosen to do this job, right?" And let me tell you, from that middle school to the high school to the halls of Howard University, today some of my Howard University students still work with me. And I started teaching at Howard 20 years ago, but they still work with me because education chose me. So in life, it's not about what you choose, it's about what chooses you, right? Because what chooses you puts you on the path to touching the people that you're supposed to touch, the people you're supposed to pour into, right? I would often tell my students a story about a man who died and went to heaven. And we got there were all kind of boxes. And he said, "God, what are these boxes that you have here?" God told him, "Go look in the boxes." He looked in the boxes. He saw all these people. He said, "Who are they?" God said, "Those are the people that you didn't touch." Come on now, right? I don't want to be in a space because we all have to meet our maker. And when I get to my room, I want 0 boxes. I want to pour out everything that's inside of me, right? And pour it into the people that I'm supposed to touch. That's my why. That's the best advice I ever received. Remember what chooses you, and you don't have to chase what chooses you. And if I could tell anyone anything, don't chase folk. Don't chase folks. The people who are supposed to be working with you, don't you know God will send them? You don't have to chase them. You don't have to chase people. You don't have to chase money. It'll chase you down, honey. When you're in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, the blessings will chase you down. You understand me? Okay. All right. All right. Yes. Yes. That's the best advice I ever received. Yes.
You've touched on so many things without knowing what my podcast is about. Spiritual journey. When you call, answer the call.
Wow.
I was an educator for 3 years because I felt I had to do it, but I didn't get a teaching certificate or bachelor's degree to show up in the school building.
Wow. Wow.
Just so many things in those words that I'm grateful for.
Yes.
And that have given me and fed me. I haven't even eaten yet. So that's the funny part, when you can live off the word.
Come on now, yes. And
So-
it's in you. I often tell my boys, I have 3 boys, and I tell them, you know, you're number one, whatever is out in the world, you know, you don't make you make it. It doesn't make you. And I got that great advice from my papa, who's from Louisiana. And I remember one day I was at Howard, and I had felt so just down. You know, I was like, Papa, such and such and such. He was like, you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Whatever you need is in you. Whether you take that from Howard to Harvard to Stanford to the community college, you the one. Not the college, you are the one. So these young folks around here, no matter who you are the one. I don't care if someone right now is sleeping in the woods or sleeping under a bridge. You understand? You're still the one. You are still the one. The circumstances are putting you in a place where you can inspire and empower others. You are still the one. That's what I want people to know today. Still, right? Regardless of what you're going through, you still the one. Hello.
Don't let a moment define you.
Come on now.
Define the moment.
That's right.
As I always say,
Yes.
one day made better, as many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that's unfair. The joy I've been given is best when shared. Visionaries never die, legends survive. Through the seeds we sow daily, we get better with time. Thank you for the time you've given me and all of the words.
You're welcome. Now, are we going to share a poem together?
Oh.
Because you are a poet, young man.
We have to at this
Okay,
point.
go ahead.
You want
share
to
your-
start
You
or
start, because I'm
Okay,
older. I'm about 50. I'll let the young folks go first.
let me get some in my mind.
Okay.
Practice is my gift to the man I'll be tomorrow. Working through the trials, detaching from the sorrows. Let's make the best of me before my day of reckoning. I apologize for judgment and for not accepting things for what they are. A foreign car won't solve it, but I want it. Happy ain't from where I live or what's placed in my stomach. Happiness that came from all my gratitude for nothing. I smile bigger and love harder when there's less I'm waking up with. Trust it, trust it, trust it. Every step of the process. And for every bridge they burn, let them think you're obnoxious. That ain't your problem. Let them feel what they may, because life changes daily and all their feelings decay.
Yes.
As I always say.
Yes.
Boy, good.
Yeah. That boy good. That boy good. Sexy chocolate. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Sexy chocolate. Okay. Let's see. I'm pull out my old poem. All right. Sweet. As the moon lines the midnight sky, I think of the sparkle and shimmer in your ebony eyes. Sweet. Sweet is the morning dew, boy. Every time I look at you, the only word I can think of is sweet. Golden honey dripping from your lips. I like to catch your words with my fingertips. Sweet. Sweet is the morning dew, boy. Every time I look at you, the only word I can think of is sweet. Your stride, sweet, makes me think of the day that our souls did meet before our physical bodies made acquaintance. My heart was under construction and your love was the maintenance. Sweet. Sweet is the morning dew, boy. Every time I look at you, the only word I can think of is sweet. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Bippity. Go love on somebody. Yes.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you. I
Timing.
appreciate that. That was beautiful.
Yes, absolutely it was. And what